Good morning, man. Rushing in. I did just wake up, so if I look like I just woke up, it's because that's the truth. That's really what it is. And yes, I'm tired. Very tired. But I was having a conversation yesterday with an acquaintance of mine, associate of mine, and I was telling her, I was like, look, man, I ain't gonna lie to you. We as a collective, people have made dating something that it's never been. We've made dating very hard. It's not supposed to be this hard. It's actually a very simple process. We have complicated a very simple process. I think a lot of us have we're not transparent, right? We're not forthcoming. But I can understand it though, because like some of us have been burnt. Some of us have had our hearts shattered. I'm talking about in the 3,001 pieces. So we have a reason in our mind to not be forthcoming. We have a reason in our mind to not be transparent, right? We have a reason, right? And it's not a bad reason. Some of us have really been burnt, been lied to, been used, been all of that, manipulated, everything you could think of. So when you hear about people not being transparent, when you hear about people not being honest, you gotta ask yourself, is there a reason, right? But I think overall, we have turned dating into something totally different, man. I think social media is at the forefront of that. I do. I think social media is at the very front of that. I think social media is the main pillar, the main cause in the way that we understand dating today. It's the main reason for it, because at the end of the day, we have turned dating into something totally different, man. Right? We are on Tinder swiping left and right. We're on Tinder swiping left and right, hence, swiping. We're on Bumble. We're on these dating apps. So that's very surface level. It's very surface level, right? So when you're on those type of situations and we're dealing with that, which again is very surface level, right? And everyone's kind of being measured up to each other, and the dating reach has increased tenfold, right? Whereas though back in the day, I was regulated, you were regulated to only date the best in your city, not even your city, the best in your school, the best in your neighborhood, and at the furthest, the best in your city. And if I'm extreme, the best in the very next state over. Today, man, look, you could be, man, listen, because of Tinder, I can match with a girl down in Florida, right? I can match with her down in Florida, right? And you can match with this guy down in here, whatever the case is. So the dating range that we cover now has expanded so far that it's almost like, it's almost like we're rangeless, right? But this is what makes it crazy to me, is even though we have changed dating so much, the overall goal is the same. The overall goal is the same. Now, I'm not saying don't have your standards. You gotta go get what you like. If it look good to you, go. That's what you like. That's fine. But understand what you're asking for sometimes when you say, I want her to look, or I want him to be or look a certain way. Right? For women out there who say, I want a man who's 6 feet, do y'all know that only 14% of the population is 6 feet or taller? Literally 14. If you're in the United States, it's 14% of the population is 6 feet or taller. So you are literally asking for a very small percentage of men, right? It'd be the same way if a woman said, or anyone said, they will only want to date gingers. That's literally 2% of the U.S. population. We got to look at these numbers and say, and then you ask yourself, why does that even matter? Right? Why does that even matter? Why do I want a man who's 6 feet? Fellas, you got to ask yourself, why do you want a woman who has a big old butt? Listen, I ain't going to lie to you. It is what it is. I am who I am. I love what I love. But why are we asking for that? And why are we disqualifying women who may not have that, but they may have every other asset you want? No pun intended. They may have every other asset you want, but you're like, nah, man, if that thing ain't jiggling, I don't want nothing to do with it. And again, we are entitled to have our opinions and our preferences. Our preferences and opinions are valid. But we got to ask ourselves, what do these preferences and opinions even freaking mean? What do they even mean? Now, I'm not saying if you're a single man with no children, go date a woman with 3 kids. I would never tell you to do that. And vice versa. If you're a single woman with no children, I'm not saying go find a man with 3, 4 kids. Have your standards, have your preferences, but try to understand the root and origin of the standard and or preference that you have. Try to understand it, and when you start to really go to that point, you start realizing this is bullshit. Listen, my longest lasting relationship was with a woman who was 5'9". Very long. She was a very pretty girl. She was very long. She had long legs, long arms. Her family, her dad's side of the family was very tall. They all were tall as hell. We're talking 6'5", 6'6", like just a tall family. So, at first, she didn't want nothing to do with me. I was too short. And I ain't gonna lie to you, I kept it G. Cool. What we talking for? Ended it right there. I'm not gonna keep talking to you. But then after that, for whatever reason, I don't know what happened, maybe a day or so later, literally, she hits me up and said, hey, you wanna go grab lunch? I'm like, sure. And from there, we began to really start talking and really getting to know each other. But I was okay with the fact she wasn't, hey, I can't change my height. I can't change it. It is what it is. Listen, I'm a short dude. What can I do about it? But ultimately, what I'm getting at is, when you look at your standards, ask yourself, what is the origin and what is the benefit of this standard? My ex was 5'9". I wasn't limited in no way, shape, or form. I promise you that. Nothing was limited. Everything was great. Nothing was limited. Promise you. So it can't be that. It can't be that. What is it? That's what you got to ask yourself, right? Whatever your standard and or preference is, find out the origin of it. Go to the common sense of it. And you'll realize a lot of times some of these standards we got just don't even make sense. They don't even make sense. But I think that because we're in such a social media world where everything is jumbled up and everyone has a preference and and whoever you date, everyone's judging, everyone's criticizing, right? Dudes do like little hating shit, and I've seen it happen. I've seen dudes do little hating shit and be like, oh yeah, I had her last week. All right, well, bro, like, he got her today. He like her. Let him figure it out. You know what I'm saying? She might have liked you. You might not have liked her for real. You might have got your rocks off. And I said, okay, cool. Well, let the next man shine. Because obviously you didn't want her. And that's okay. That's okay. Let him go ahead and shine. But don't try to throw salt on his game. Don't do that. I've seen dudes, I ain't gonna lie, I've seen dudes get mad at a chick for ghosting them or something like that. And I do have a real problem with ghosting. But we ain't gonna get into that. I do have I know guys that when a chick ghosted them, they try to release nudes from the chick. I've seen all that. I've seen dudes be petty as hell. I've seen it. Fellas, we gotta be real. We got some ish with us, man. I ain't even gonna sit up here and lie. We got ish with us, bro. Straight up. And we try to act like we don't. Oh, it's all the women. Nah, we got some issues, man. We got issues, and that's okay. Because we gotta work on them. Men have, by nature, we are very possessive by nature. So if we feel like it's ours, and even if it's not, we're gonna move a certain way. That's why I tell fellas, don't be out here just laying up with anything, man, and act like you don't care, because you do care. Soul ties are real, and you do care, right? And you ain't gonna know you care until she out there doing that same thing with somebody else. So if you find something you like, go ahead, lock that down. Go explore it. Go find out what she is, who she is, man. Don't be, oh, I think I like her, but you're doing all the couple things. Come on, now, we ain't finna be doing that. And ladies, the list of stuff y'all got, I don't feel like getting canceled. I'm just trying to get my legs in the door, my foot in the door. So I ain't finna get canceled, but y'all got your stuff too, man. Because a lot of y'all be missing out on solid dudes. Because y'all chasing Jerome with the long jaw. I know what I just said, because y'all chasing Jerome with that third leg. They need to cut that shit out, man. They need to cut that out. Because y'all missing out on great guys. Y'all missing out on great guys, and when y'all keep doing that, because, again, these dumbass standards and all this other stuff, y'all get mad at those great guys for not wanting y'all after the fact. I done seen it a million times. Y'all overlooked the great guy for the guy that y'all thought might have hit that itch, or whatever the case was. After y'all get done exploring this dude, the dude that y'all overlooked, he ain't there no more. Because some other woman that came along and saw his value and was like, nah, man, I can't leave him on the street. I need that one. And my life gonna change forever. So, men and women, we both got our things. I can go real deep and real strenuous on this topic. But stop wasting time, man. Stop playing. We have ruined dating. It's us. People. Not men, not women, not blacks, not whites. People have ruined dating. And it's up to people to fix it. Up to people to fix it. We can keep playing the social media game if y'all want to. And I'm not saying don't utilize your media, because you can find some great people on there. But understand, most of that is surface level. Most people ain't gonna get beneath the surface. So I'm just gonna be honest with you. I think we collectively as people have collectively sabotaged dating. It just is what it is. So don't act crazy, don't act dumb. We know what it is. We know what we're doing. There we go. I'm gonna check it out later though, all right?